amount of money is being moved through the blockchain and through cryptocurrencies. And I think that STOs and securities in general are really needed because we need that kind of protection against scams. If we just focus on building this buy pressure, we will have pump and dumps, and that's not the best idea.
Welcome everybody at the next issue of Stobox Interview. Our today's guest is Adrián Sánchez, CEO at the crypto community Momentum 3.0 and DeFi trader at the world's first tokenized hedge fund. Adrián, it's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you for the invitation and thank you for the interview.
Before we proceed with the interview, I encourage everybody to hit the like and subscribe to the channel to see many other interviews that we have with industry leaders and rock stars so that you could learn more about where the world in finance is moving. And now let's kick off. Adrián, please tell us about yourself and your background.
I started my YouTube channel because I was studying to be a financial advisor. I finished my degree in economics and I wanted to show the world the job that I've been developing and what I've been building. So that's why I started recording videos like this one and publishing them in YouTube. Later on, I published in LinkedIn, I published in several media, and my goal was to create that confidence and also to let others know what I am capable of. Then I started advising projects like Velobaba, which is the first tokenized hedge fund, and others like, for example, some launchpads as BitBCN or some projects that have been working with us. And I am currently focused on organizing events and traveling the world because that's how you meet people like your company. I met them in Dubai last week and we were talking about these opportunities that we have in crypto, that we have in the blockchain arena. And I have 23 years, so I started with 21. And right now, I think that when you are young, you have to look for this kind of opportunities, not opportunities that are for the common people, but like riskier ones because you need this kind of support from the community. And in crypto, you already have these opportunities, which are not so risky as 5 years or even 15 years ago, with some verticals and some opportunities that are already established. They are not so risky anymore. So that's my background. I don't know if you want to ask some questions related to it or next question.
It's fascinating to hear that you are so young. Generally, what I like about crypto is that the industry is much more meritocratic compared to all others, where you need to have at least 15 years of experience in a given field in order to have a senior position. And often the main requirement for filling the position is actually having years of experience instead of real expertise. So it's great to see like disruption brings new talent much sooner. You mentioned that you on your YouTube channel you founded it in order to speak about your work. So, what is the topic of your channel, and what kind of work you are discussing with your community?
I focused in crypto and blockchain because I saw the opportunity. I saw that this is a big industry that is getting much bigger and really important in a political sense of view and also in a financial perspective because right now big amount of money is being moved through the blockchain and through cryptocurrencies. And I decided to start a YouTube channel and develop my YouTube channel based on the trends that the social media offer you, because you may be willing to talk about your own project or your startup, but if the trend doesn't go in that direction, you should adapt and you should focus on the main trend, what YouTube wants and what the social media outlets want. And that's why I focused on what was trendy when I started, and I keep on trying to do that right now. It's like you need to understand the YouTube algorithm, you need to understand what people want, what people need, and they want those updates in real time. When you are in the computer and you can record your videos so people understand what's happening and which opportunities they have to make money, because education and information is cool, but they want to gain money, and we all want to have these opportunities to be able to increase our network.
That's a very smart approach to focus primarily on the trends. As far as I know, the research shows that the most important factor in the success of startups is not even the quality of the team or product, but actually the timing, whether you are going into the right trends on the market. In your opinion, in crypto and blockchain, what are the hottest trends right now?
I think that NFTs with utility, NFTs that really create value are one of the biggest trends. Also, the fractionalized NFTs, which are also a utility, maybe one of the biggest moves right now. And as you are working with a regulator and a regulated industry, that's also really important, mainly for the institutional guy, the institutional investor, because they want that kind of protection. And I think that STOs and securities in general are really needed, because we need that kind of protection against scams and against malfunctioning markets, because we need regulation and we need to understand what is a investment contract. So a STO or a security token offering may be the solution for this kind of problems.
So you feel that the primary benefit of asset tokenization is the regulatory protection provided to investors, which is especially important for institutional ones.
Yes, and we are talking about investment contracts. So, with an investment contract, we need law enforcement, and we also need this clarity, because if we are talking about a utility, we cannot expect a profit from a centralized entity, rather a decentralized system or a decentralized business model. And it's really hard to create that utility when you don't have this kind of utilities or this kind of opportunities to build that product or build that useful product, because we already built some tokens that are really valuable, but the tokenization world or the tokenized securities could help to build this kind of opportunities and build this kind of securities, which are both an investment contract and a regulated contract. That's why I think that we need securities, and we have a nice example with Belobaba, which already has an STO, and we already have the security in the market.
It's great to hear about new cases of security tokens emerging. So having the first hedge fund tokenized for PE fund, etc. Uh, I wonder what made you, when launching Belobaba, choose raising capital via offering security tokens compared to like traditional fundraising for hedge funds.
Because we want to let people use DeFi to fundraise again, it's like if you have a security token, then you can use your token to get a loan using your token as a collateral. And you can also build the market for others to trade. You can lease it, you can rent it. So that may hedge others or may be useful for others to have that hedge. For example, I was talking with Grayscale yesterday, and they may plan to create a volatility index based on their token because that's a nice way to hedge yourself. We also plan to do this kind of utilities based on the volatility of our token because that's how you can hedge against the token. And these kind of opportunities raised because of the chances that we have to use financial products in a tokenized way, which may be easier to work with than a traditional security or a traditional product.
So you mentioned that you're having discussions with Grayscale. Is it the case that major asset management managers are start being interested in security tokens and the cryptocurrency overall?
Yes, they are willing to invest in companies and also tokens because right now we don't just have like Bitcoin and exposure to Bitcoin. You also want exposure to mining companies. You also want exposure to companies like yours that are building what we need for companies to keep on financing and receiving capital to develop their own projects. And we need these opportunities. We need people that are building these tokens. And it's not just having money to invest, it's also about the legal framework, and it's also about confidence. Because if you have a contract, you already have that confidence thanks to the legal framework where we are working. For example, I will travel to Gibraltar in 1 hour, and we are regulated there because we want a regulator to take care of the investment itself. We want to have these check and balances, and we want our investors to be safe with us. We want them to know that the regulator is supervising everything. We have oracles for the token, and we have the whole framework for us and for them to develop their own projects based on our token. Because if they want to use our token to get a loan, finance some projects, let's say 20% or 30% uh, TVL, they may use that money to get into new projects or, for example, get into the projects that we are launching through the Launchpad. And that's why we want a security token. We don't just want a security, we want a security token that can be used in DeFi and can be used as collateral.
That's very interesting. My personal view is also that the real utility of security tokens, so to say, is unlocked when you can utilize those security tokens in DeFi protocols, such as lending protocols or market making protocols, because this is when you enable short selling of security tokens. This is when you enable liquidity and many other operations. This is why in Stobox, we probably the next year or two will be focused a lot in enabling such protocols for security tokens, because currently this entire market, the DeFi security token DeFi or permission DeFi, is only emerging. Shifting to another topic, I wonder what you learned in your investing and trading journey in crypto, including with Belobaba, and what are the lessons that you could offer to our viewers? What are the best practices, so to say?
Let's talk about shorts. Let's talk about selling high to buy lower because it's really important to have this kind of moves and this kind of actions because the market needs efficiency. Yeah, we all need buyers, but we need efficiency first of all. So if we have the ability to go short, that means that we will have liquidity down or in the downside move, because if we just focus on building this buy pressure, we will have pump and dumps, and that's not the best idea. We also need the speculators. We need to become this kind of speculators from time to time if we are seeing, for example, a huge pump. Today I saw a huge pump and I sold some tokens to be able to buy lower because I really like the product. I really like the project, but I need to hedge myself and I need to find a support to buy again. And I need to look for resistances to be able to take profits and buy the dip later on. That's something that I want to share with the community because we focus too much on holding. And holding, maybe, for example, with two-thirds of your portfolio or 50% of your portfolio, the long term management portfolio. But if we see an opportunity to sell and buy lower, that may be really, really interesting for our portfolio and our plans. In our case, we want to sell high, buy low, because our investors need a monthly payment, a monthly a monthly yield. So we need to move ourselves between selling high and buying low.
That's a great advice, and I agree with you. Seeing that people in crypto speak a lot about holding and expecting the rise in prices, but they don't utilize the possibility to profit from fall in prices as well. And probably we need for the crypto market to mature for it to become more sophisticated, and even for individual traders to become more sophisticated and knowledgeable in how they approach. This is when we probably will have less pumps and dumps. So it's another thought that I liked from what you said. It's about importance of speculators to not only to really smooth the market and to bring more knowledge and reasonableness. So I guess what you're doing with your education and with your trading is very important to bring the crypto market to this next stage of evolution when there is even more sophistication in knowledge in how the information gets aggregated, and mainly maybe then when we will have less scams and more possibility for people to profit.
Yeah, we need people that go short, just short. Don't hold, don't buy to sell low, higher. We need people to look for projects that are not so powerful, sell high, buy low. For example, with running and Axie Infinity, they tried to do it, this kind of a speculation, because they saw the opportunity to sell high and buy low once the exploit was discovered. And it is said that the stop losses jumped or activated themselves because the market was pumping and the price went up before falling eventually into the buying area that the speculator marked. So that's why we need people looking for short opportunities, not just in crypto, but also in the traditional market. It's hard to understand this short seller act, but it's like the police. We need the policemen and policewomen in the market, because if the market is just long and we buy to sell higher, we will not be able to create efficiency. And something similar happens with the market making, with this kind of algorithms that allow us to move in a more sophisticated market. For example, we need people to create orders, to buy and sell, just because they want to create that market, just because they want to market making, this kind of action that are really, really needed. And we need to understand their role, because it's not just buy low and sell high, it's also about efficiency.
I love this metaphor about short sellers as sort of policemen of the financial markets. Adrian, thank you for the nice and insightful interview. It was great to learn your experience in managing trends, in investing, and your position on security tokens. Thank you for agreeing to join this interview.
Thank you, Boris, for the invitation.
Okay, thank you, viewers who stayed with us to the end. And please don't forget to subscribe to get other great interviews with lots of insights to power up your journey in crypto. So stay tuned and see you in the next interview.